subscribe to the channel so they can join and do whatever.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead and turn the volume down on my phone so I don't screw stuff up like I do every other week. And then it's definitely live now. It'll kick off there we go. A notification here real quick.
I just got it.
Cool.
Yeah, I got it too.
Cool. So guys, welcome. Prepared Patriots Thursday night live stream. I am Eagle 2. And we've got a distinguished guest tonight. We got Chris Atwood of Iredell County Sheriff's Department.
That's correct. Yes.
Here in North Carolina, he was a recent participant in our medical for Leo's class. So we've got him as a guest on tonight. So also got Eagle 1 as well as the Bald Eagle in the house tonight. So really quickly, just as we always do, I like to go over class dates for those folks that are watching back. So let's see. Our next class is going to be our Prepared Pistol 1 class. It's September 12th. Following that is our version of concealed carry, comprehensive concealed carry on September 25th. And then we skip, I believe, to October 17th, where Patrick will be teaching Prepared Pistol 2. And then I think we have a Preparedness 101 class, bug out bag class on October 30th. So just did all that from memory. So if you guys are in the North Carolina area, want to seek out some higher level training, we would love to have you. Check us out across the socials, Prepared Patriot NC, on the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the TikToks, as well as here on the YouTubes. So that's pretty much our schedule. We've got some other comprehensive concealed carry classes peppered in throughout there, but those are the high marks. So I'll turn it back over to got Eagle 1 back this week. Shouldn't be as painful as it was last week.
It was painful.
So anyway, I'm going to share some links here and do my thing.
We got a couple guys coming on now. A couple of the dudes already said that they recognize you from the photos and thank you for coming out and doing the training, and that they were happy to see officers coming to do that. So if y'all don't know what our medical preparedness for Leo's class was, it was our way of giving back to the community. We hear so much things in the political climate right now about, negativity toward officers and that kind of thing. And we don't see a point to it. And we think that people are stepping on their own foot in a lot of ways. So when you make cops the bad guys, we're setting ourselves up for some trouble. And as a team and as a whole, our whole community that we've built and the company that we stand behind, we absolutely support law enforcement officers that are doing a hard job, man. They're doing a job that's kind of thankless sometimes, that, the pay is not great. The rewards are awesome sometimes, but also they go through some of the most challenging things that you'll ever see as an officer. So we'd like to thank you personally and all the guys that came from Iredell and also Maiden Police Department. A couple of great dudes were out there that were really putting the work in. We're so proud to have you guys. Before we go really deep down the rabbit hole of what you thought and kind of get your kind of take on what you got from class, I do want to take just a second to thank Riker Nylon Gear and Recon Medical, as well as the Prepare Patriot team, Matt, Jerry, and also who you're not seeing tonight, it's Doc Ron. All those guys put in a ton of work and money and time, and then a lot of materials donated. So these officers could all leave with a Riker Nylon Gear ankle first aid kit, fully stocked with everything they needed to be able to put it on and put it to use almost immediately. So we thank the guys that we know in this community that are just freaking rock stars, man, that help us out and do all the great things. So we're so happy that you were able to come take the class as well as the rest of the guys. I hope that all of you guys are putting things into practice now since you had the class. Before we get into it and let you talk about it, we'll just tell the guys that are watching what the class was. It was a crash course in medical training where these guys got to learn how to do basic stop the bleed stuff that you would see in a stop the bleed class. But then we take that a couple steps further where these guys learn how to do real life training for MPAs, for packing wounds, for doing decompression needles, all these things. And they get to go through it first. They learn the skill And then we put them through some scenario-based training where they get a little bit of pressure testing with it, where they have to go in and actually put the work in and see how they really perform under pressure. So that was the class. It was awesome, I think. But Chris, I'd like to get your opinion, man, on what did you think of the class and what did you take away from it?
I thought it was great. I didn't realize it was your first class that you did because I felt like it was very structured. Everything was great. The scenarios were really good, especially in, being an SRO, and the scenario that the last scenario we talked about was great under pressure. I took some medical classes, but really nothing really in depth, nothing I felt like that I would probably use outside. But I feel like with that one day of class that I would probably use some of that equipment, and it was gave to us. So we could use it. Didn't have to go get it on our own. So that was a plus too. But I feel like it's something I could probably use and do now, even in one day. Maybe not, perfect, but if I had to, I think I could use it and it be, possibly the right way to use it this time.
Yeah, man. So you said something to me during and after class that you thought that this is something that you felt every SRO should have to go through.
Yes,
and you thought
definitely.
that it was really beneficial to be able to see it all and actually put it into play. Is like, okay, what are you going to do whenever X, Y, Z happens?
Right.
So I think that's awesome that you see the value and the benefit of it. If there was things in there that were maybe uncomfortable to you, or some of the gear that you really want to highlight that you thought was, man, that's really cool, that I didn't know how to use that, now I do, what would you point out that was the most beneficial to you?
I would say probably the tourniquet with the limbs. I feel like that's very beneficial, I feel like that's something easy to use. Everybody can do it, but nobody really knows how to use it the proper way, and I felt like that was a great tool to have, especially in a school setting. I feel like that something quick you can do, and you could use a lot of them really quick if you needed to. Some of the other stuff might take a little bit more time, but I feel like that was very beneficial to learn how to use that accurate.
And I think you guys saw with the scenarios that although tourniquet application sounds good and easy, it's not always that way.
No,
which is awesome.
So
yes.
a couple comments that we have from our guys that are on the chat. One says, don't forget it's a perishable skill. This class was just the beginning. Absolutely. We fully support that. You got to train. You got to put the time in, or else you will forget what you were taught. And then John Cranch says SRO, Special Response Officer. That it actually stands for School Resource Officer. So he's the guy there protecting the kids, man. So he has the potential to do some serious, if we take the case of Sandy Hook, Jerry always says it took him 47 minutes to get in to do any kind of medical intervention for those victims of that. And we feel like, man, that if we could even just get, 5 to 10 really good built medical kits that teachers and SROs and principals and other administrative staff know how to use, man, think about the lives that could have been saved just by that little bit of intervention. And medical, I heard another officer say something that was the quote of the night. It was, tourniquets are cheap and life is not. And man, the fact that he left our class with that in his brain was a win for me. Like that was what the whole class was about. If y'all take that much and you just realize that, man, if I just have a couple little things on me, I can do such excellent life-saving skills that I know how to do now. They're not that complicated. Once you learn them and you practice them, man, you should be able to do them in the dark and asleep. You know what I mean? Almost asleep if you had to. So it's just awesome that that just a little bit of intervention can go a long way, especially when you're the first guy on the scene, man.
Yeah, it needs to be a 2 or 3 day class though. I feel like there could have been a lot more we could have did with the scenarios and just with the medical stuff in general. So I feel like that's something that could be in the SRO school a couple of days. If you were teaching that in SRO school, that would be great. For somebody new going in, needing to know that.
I would love to expand the class, and I will tell you, I had 15 scenarios wrote. We used 5.
Yeah.
So there's the potential there. I could go a whole nother day with that class, just scenario-based training.
Yeah.
And I think it would also be more beneficial if I was going to run it again. I'd like for every guy to come to class with their ankle rig already pre-packed and how they were going to use it. I think that would benefit them more than maybe the way we had to do things, just because you guys were gifted this stuff. So it was kind of there waiting on you, but you had no training with it. You had not had time to kind of put it in where you would normally wear it and that kind of thing. Now that you have used it a little bit, hopefully you're using it now and rocking it every day. You'll kind of start to figure out, okay, this needs to go here, that needs to go there. This is what I need on there. And it'll start to really add up and how much help and benefit you can get from just using what you know is where. Like, in the class, it kind of throws you a little bit for a loop because you kind of are using gear that we provide, but whenever it's yours and you built it, it makes a big difference. So I would love to see it turn into a 2-day class. But I also, again, will go back to say that we asked around 5 departments to fill 10 spots and got 6. So it's kind of a bad thing sometimes. Like, we know the value of training. Now that you've been through it, you know the value of the training.
Yeah.
But it's just figuring out how to get that connection to get guys to realize how important getting into that class is, man. That's the hard part. And that's where we struggle as a company is it's like, we know what we're doing is right. We know what we're doing is beneficial to people and could help so many. But it's just getting people to really commit to be there, man. And kudos to you and your guys. Y'all came in. I just want to give props to these officers, man. They come in with very short notice and did work. Those guys put the work in. They come in. They took it seriously. All of them trying to soak up as much as they possibly could and I mean, these guys are drinking from a fire hose. Like, we're giving them information as fast as we can give it to them and them actually retain it. So these guys put in the work, and I think all of them did an exceptional job. So the guys that showed up, man, y'all showed up. So I'm super proud. And as a company, it's one of the things I'm most proud of. It's one of the things that we've done as a service to the community that it was worth our time, man. It was great. Yeah. I'm glad we did it.
Well, you're talking about the people not showing up. Well, there's always that stigma between law enforcement and medical. Should I do medical? Well, that's a medical class. I don't want to do it, but the class is the way you presented it. If people would give it a chance, they would enjoy it. A lot of medical classes are presented differently, and this was presented towards law enforcement, not just here's what you do on a medical scene. This is what you do on a crime scene, or a potential crime scene after the fact. Especially in a school setting when you're there with people and kids, and it's something you need to know how to do.
Well, and I think you hit it on the head. That's one of the things in our prep for the class that we really were focused on. And we talked about the 5 Bs in the class because you're in a situation where you can never forget that. And that's always going to be there. You always have to take care of that environment first and then do what you need to do. But you guys really saw, and I think every participant experienced at least one time where they got so focused on fixing the thing that took all their attention, and if you don't realize that can happen, then you'll allow it.
Right. Yeah. So I know that Chris is kind of on a time crunch tonight. He has a lot of things going on and we don't want to keep him too long tonight, man, but if there's just anything else you'd like to say about the class that we could put out to the community, what would be your kind of final thoughts, man?
Well, I think we would come back in a heartbeat if you presented some, if you had something else or an extended class you wanted to add. We appreciate everything that was given to us. I'm going to use a lot of it. I know the other guys loved it, absolutely loved it. I mean, we're not just saying that. We really did enjoy the class. I enjoyed the class. It was long day, and we still were sticking around after the fact, if you noticed that. So it was great, and we do appreciate it. Y'all were great to us, and the way you presented the class was awesome. The scenarios were great, and I recommend it to anybody. I think all the SROs should take it, honestly. I mean, I really think it's a great class, and if you can expand it to a couple days, I think it'd be even better.
Well, and I think I know I personally met with Burleson.
Yes.
I forget who else was with him.
Yep.
But
Captain Burleson, yep.
Yeah, Captain Burleson, and there was another guy with him when I met him the one time. And but I think make sure you mention that to them so they know. And
yeah, I'll definitely. I think they've heard it. I'm sure they've heard it by now.
Yeah.
So that's the key, man. We're a small company and we don't really advertise out because we don't want to draw the wrong type of people.
Right.
The people we want are the people that like you that want to put the time in.
Yeah.
And that was when we were doing all this, like we were just going to donate them to the officers. And I couldn't do that. In my logic, I could not give away the gear without someone who is willing to train with it. If you're not willing to put the time in to learn how to use it, you're probably not going to carry it or use it anyway. And it was a waste of time. So we were happy to see officers that showed up and did the work, man. So we appreciate you very much and everything that you do for the community and for our kids, man.
Thank
In
you.
SRO position, we appreciate you. And I hope that the guys maybe got just a little, if we can give an ounce of morale boost to those dudes, man, for the job that they do, it was worthwhile.
It was awesome.
Sure.
I do appreciate it, and I appreciate you inviting me on because that means I wouldn't have came on if I didn't believe in what you're preaching. So, and
Awesome.
what you're doing. So it's great. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Chris, man.
Spoken as the CFO, man, if you guys figure out a way to tap into funding and things of that nature, so that we can expand on this thing, we're only a text message or email away. So whether that's some sort of presentation to PTO or school management, or even coming back to the sheriff's department and kind of specking some stuff out. So just keep that in the back of your mind and let us know.
Definitely. I appreciate it. And thank you guys and keep it up.
Awesome.
Thank you for
it,
joining us, man. We appreciate
No
it.
problem. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So there you have it, guys. We had special guest Chris. If y'all are just catching us, if you are joining us later on in the live stream, go back and watch the whole thing. You can figure out who Chris was and how lucky we were to have him on tonight. So, go back, watch the live stream, check out Chris's kind of follow up on the medical preparedness for Leo class. I think it was a success, gentlemen. I think it was worth the time. And I'm so happy that we've met such great people in this community like Recon Medical and Riker, Nylon Gear, just some good freaking people that made it possible, man. So it was awesome.
I think you hit it on the head too. I know we went out and beat the bushes to get those 7, but we had 7 guys there that they came in, they wanted to soak up as much as they could.
Yep.
And
so it was awesome.
Right. That turned out, and I think Matt's post on it. If we didn't do another class, that one made the year.
Yep.
So it's awesome.
For sure.
Considering I remember the one night, Patrick, you and I were there in the garage talking about it. And, at that point, we didn't even have it fully in our heads.
Well, we got kind of blindsided, man. We were so focused on prepper med for a long time, and then all of a sudden it was like, damn, we got 2 weeks to pull this off.
Yeah.
And yeah, man.
And I think the fact that he was able to come to class and not realize that it was a first run class says that how much time that you guys and Ron and I have put into this and how well it went off. So I'm happy that it worked.
And I don't know that we thanked our alumni on a live stream tonight, but we had some folks show up in a big way and did really awesome on short notice for our scenarios. So
and I do want to give a shout out to Sandra there. She deserves the Emmy or whatever, Oscar or whatever it is.
Emmy award-winning role player.
Yeah.
She was awesome.
For sure.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Max, man. That's why we kind of targeted the SROs. He just said with him, you could potentially save a boatload of kids' lives. The thing is like we try to explain to them that this is for you or someone you're willing to die for. Everything else that you're treating with should be coming from a big bag that you have like staged in the school that you can get to quickly, that like this is like your individual thing. Like you don't want to pass out all this gear, unless it's your partner and you're sure it's okay. You know what I mean? That you're like, hey, it's worth dying for to save his life if I had to. So we got them thinking in that path. The problem is like a lot of times people don't realize how, you guys know because you train, this shit ain't cheap. Like we spent over $500 per officer getting them equipped with this gear, including the class. And, a lot of officers, man, they're not paid that well. I used to be one. I kind of know how that works. Like you show up, you're given, here's your gun and holster, and here's your extra magazines, and like that's it. Everything else you're potentially paying for yourself to be able to have. And a lot of times these guys just aren't willing to put the money in. But I think if we can crack into those guys and get those SROs, and especially the ones that came and they start talking on the way back, you get those guys group buying from recon and getting tourniquets every damn where. They become part of the gun culture and they start to build that around them. That's what we wanted from the word go, you know?
Yeah.
It's been awesome to be able to help those guys out, and I think it was well worth our time. So
Well,
all
really
you guys that
like,
were rooting it on, we appreciate you.
I really felt like that they left and were embracing the whole medical side of things.
And I think a lot of them were willing to do it once they put in the mindset that, hey, maybe it's not so much that you're even doing it on the job. This may be your wife, your kid. It may be your partner that you're rolling up on a scene and he just got shot. Like, it may be somebody you really want to put the work in on.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying. It ain't always a bad guy, Joe Clusterfuck, that got, shot in a drug deal. Like, sometimes it's somebody you really damn care about, and you need to be able to save their life if you need to. So I have not been keeping up with the chat that much tonight, guys. Sorry, you'll have to forgive me. We'll try to go back through some of them and see if there's any questions that need to be answered. I saw a couple guys, Jody on here, and Crayons and Junkie. Let's see, Max.
Andrew,
couple of dudes.
Andrew's on.
What's up, Andrew?
You guys may have saved some lives by giving that class. Well, hopefully, if it prevents them up a little bit further at 847, Crayon said, I've been on 2 officer-involved shootings. I've been on hundreds of calls where the person needed medical aid and the officer was lost. Medical is always overlooked.
It is, because, again, it's not sexy, it's not glamorous, but it's probably the most important skill that we learn. Speaking of combat art training, I don't want to give away too much, but exciting things coming. Y'all should be looking for some videos. We've collabed a little bit with combat art training and have some stuff that we're going to be showcasing soon. I'm excited about. I don't want to give away too much until we do the videos. Make you wonder. Even though, like with freaking YouTube, they might delete it before I even get it put up. Who knows? Dude, like, we posted a video. I'm not even kidding. This is how bad it is. Like, they actually took away likes. They took away like the likes and the stuff so that it wasn't gaining traction. We've had one video that's like popped pretty aggressively, and damn if they haven't started deleting shit. So
I just posted that on.
That's all Matt just posted about it.
Long story short, it quickly got up to 56 likes, and then I looked at it tonight. I was a son of a bitch. They cut 26 of them out. I was like, so. But yeah, I think YouTube's notorious for that. Like, I was watching that other video I sent you earlier, that guy kind of ranting about some stuff. The big guys that are getting what's the word, reimbursed, advertisement payment, shit that we're not eligible for because we don't really exist, but they still want to shadow ban us. They get subscribers yanked and stuff all the time for without any kind of. And I actually looked just to see if we had gotten any kind of message about some sort of content, and I haven't seen anything yet. So they're just trying to hold a good man down.
So Andrew, I think Andrew gave me permission. He says, just say it, bro. So some things that we're excited about. I don't know if y'all saw the video. I did a video on Combat Art Training's EDC fanny pack / nut ruck is what I call it. And it will be awesome to see that he has put into play some of the suggestions that myself and Max had talked about. Oh, look at that. What's that on there? A double mag pouch carry from. See, Matt's got all the goodies, so I can't showcase them and do videos on them yet. They all come to Matt's house.
Well, I finally told Andrew, I was like, here's Patrick's address. If you want it done quickly, you send it to him. So we got a double mag pouch in gray, it looks like. And then double mag pouch. This is multi-cam, or maybe it's woodland. Sorry, somebody's gonna be all camo Nazi on me, but yeah. So double mag pouches, and like he says, they essentially will fit double stack mags. So and then anything smaller than that. So in his video on YouTube, he's running Glock 19, so he's got 15 or 17, probably 15 round mags in it. He also sent us a butt ton of slings too. They're in a box over here, but that'd be a pain in the ass to show you with my background here. So, but keep an eye out for that stuff.
All right, so here's a comment.
But hold on. But what I'm most excited about is the fanny pack. Like, he upgraded that thing, and I think he out of the park. I think it's going to be a home run, dude. I can't wait to see that thing in action. Like, I think he fixed it to where it's going to be rock star quality. I'm super, super stoked about that. And then also, maybe a little something about an EDC backpack. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see about that.
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. We can actually start the live here. Scott Wexler has finally showed up. Apparently,
what's up, Scott?
with his granted entrance. Yeah, exactly. He says you can start over.
So, Scott, if you're just joining us, man, you missed the interview with an officer from the Medical Preparedness for Leo. You should go back and check it out. It was an awesome day, and I needed it too. Like, I'm going through some personal stuff, and I needed a distraction. It was a great class, and I needed it. It was perfect timing for me.
It was probably the most proud I've been after a class, but then it was crushed by, it's like the most broke we've been after a class. So
we put some money into that one, man.
Between everything that, and the big thing that's kind of broken our behind this year is picking up all the sim stuff, which is due in probably a couple of weeks or so. So we can start working on that stuff.
So we'll get. There was a comment here a minute ago. I want to get Matt riled up a little bit when we was talking about the YouTube and all that, and then Andrew, Combat Art Training, asked us if we have problems with TikTok, Matt.
Oh, TikTok? Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, so I've backed off of TikTok for the most part, just because they're a bunch of crackheads, and but yeah, I've had probably 30 videos struck from TikTok, and people on that platform, they're freaking mean ass sons of bitches. And anyway, so I just kind of basically only use it to create videos for other platforms now, if I want to tie music to it. So, but the good thing is I can now that I've kind of gotten into some YouTube shorts, I can recycle some of my TikToks and put them on YouTube. The only thing I'm not so sure about are the ones with the music in the background, because I think YouTube's going to give me a licensing problem. But anything that doesn't have music in the background, I think I can recycle over onto YouTube for what it's worth. Trying to break the shadow ban here. So yeah, but generally screw TikTok.
So I'm having a hard time because I'll be honest, like, I don't give a shit about any of them. If it wasn't for the dudes that are on this chat and like the people that go back and watch this that are our students, I could care fucking less about YouTube, TikTok. But I would delete all that shit if it wasn't for like just being engaged with you guys, the people that are like the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop, the top people that, like, man, you got the best of the best on there, and then you get some douchebag in there.
Yeah. And while we got a bunch of folks on tonight, just do us a favor and run over there and hit that like button and check your notification toggle. Make sure YouTube hasn't messed with notifications, especially for some of those. I saw Wex say he didn't get a notification, so who knows what the hell's going on. So
if you guys are on here, there's quite a few watching tonight. If you're on here and you haven't introduced yourself. If you have any questions, we'll answer them. We are a training school in North Carolina. We do preparedness training, firearms training, as well as medical training. As you just heard, we were training some local officers last weekend, which was a good time. We love doing that. And if there's anything that you have questions about, just let us know.
Got a dog scratching at the door. I'll be back.
So that being said, a couple of things that we have not talked too much about, but there's been a shit ton of rain in North Carolina. So if you guys are gardeners out there, and in the preparedness stuff, I'm sorry for your loss because my garden has washed away. It's ridiculous. Dylan Clifford, what's up, man? He says social media sucks. I use YouTube for learning stuff I don't know. Yeah, man. Like that's what most people use YouTube for. A lot of people don't know this, but I think YouTube is isn't it the second biggest search engine in the world?
Probably
Google then YouTube. So
yeah.
like that's what most people use it for. The problem is with YouTube though, you can find all kinds of shit that's especially when it comes to firearms training, that is just shit. Like it's not reputable. You probably shouldn't be watching that to get what you need to do. Like you can learn some stuff, and there's some good people on there. There's a lot of guys that I highly encourage you to watch. But man, there's some really god awful shit in there too. Jody's getting rough in the comments. We're gonna put you guys in timeout. Put them together.
Lacey's back. I need to.
Jody, did you get over the virus, man? It sounded like you about died down there. I was surprised as shit that you missed the prepper med class. Like I was like, no kidding. Jody must be dying. Is all I was gonna say.
Let me send this over to Michael Ackes so he can jump on and get banned. Our weekly banning.
What's up, Mike? Be nice to Mike, guys.
Is he on?
He's a good dude. Yeah, he's on.
Okay.
He just said hello, clowns. He just said hello, clowns.
Okay, I was getting ready to send it to him so they could ban
him. Jason's already talking about it. Don't ban Mike. He's a good dude. He just says retarded ass shit sometimes. Just don't take any advice.
Yeah. Well, we do want to thank Dylan was there actually at the Leo thing, so he's on here tonight. So
yeah, he did a great job.
Appreciate you, Dylan.
Yeah, thank y'all. We already, if you watched the first part of it, we already thanked the role players. But man, it couldn't have been nowhere near what it was without you guys, man. We appreciate y'all so much.
I'm back.
Damn, Jody, I hate to hear that, man. He says he was down hard. He was down hard to miss that class. He says he's having some small after effect issues like 3 weeks later, which is weird. No shit, man. Like that's some world class crud you got there. World class crud.
That's Jason's crud. Caught the clap from Jason. So, yeah. So speaking of,
sorry.
No, I was gonna say, speaking of Michael Ackes, he, I guess during my rant last week or whatever it was last week, he's got a friend down in Florida that does work some Google Magic, some search engine optimization stuff for websites, and so I've been talking back and forth to him. It looks like a somewhat could be a pricey endeavor, but I'm just trying to learn as much as I can to make an informed decision. But yeah, maybe that would help break the silence, kind of get us a little bit better known. So I'm looking at that as a business opportunity, I guess, kind of looking into the search engine optimization stuff, but it's definitely complicated. So,
well, and then on top of that, we got all the other stuff that we're working on in the background, like the gear and freaking working on classes and stuff like that. Like I don't think people truly realize how much goes into this stuff. Like it's not like simple. It's you, me, and Jerry put in so much time on this shit. It's like ridiculous. But it's because it's a baby, it's a thing of love. You know what I mean? Like we want to help people, and that's kind of what we want to do. And it takes a lot of time, but it's worth it, I think,
I would say like definitely during the last week, I've been like super consumed by this and just racking my brain like on how do we get the word out? How do we get class numbers up? It's definitely been something that's been all up in my feels all week. So gotta try different stuff because fall's looking a little bit light in attendance.
So Andrew says keep doing more gear reviews. Those get views like crazy, dude. If it wasn't for it being your gear that I like actually want to review, I hate doing gear reviews. I really do.
I got some more of those shitty Rovivon lights coming. They contacted me through Instagram. Supposedly they have a gun light coming. So I can't wait to get a hold of that and send it your way.
They're gonna hate our guts, is all I'm gonna say. That's the issue though, Andrew, is like, you know how the hierarchy is, man. Like it's mindset, tactics, skills, and gear. And like the gear is the least important and everybody wants to watch that shit. But unfortunately, when it comes to a YouTube channel, if you put out really great quality content that actually might help somebody, nobody's interested. You got to put out the shit that's like not that important to get people to kind of filter in. It's so funny, like the things that they'll actually be interested in and come watch whenever it's like, man, that video right there is worth money. You know what I mean? Like some videos we put out, it's like, that's worth money right there. Like you should be taking that and actually learning some shit. And then there's stuff that's like fucking lights getting reviews and shit that's like, who gives a shit? You know?
Yeah. Speaking of Andrew, Jerk just released a video right in the middle of our live stream.
Damn it.
On the EDC
now I gotta go.
or on the backpack. Jerk.
Nice. We'll have to go check that out. Y'all go subscribe to him. He's a good dude.
Combat art training.
Jody says, I think the fall will boom for training. Cooler weather, world is crazier, etc. Man, world crazier is absolutely right. Golly, it's been nuts. Like it's almost like I actually seen I had one of our alumni actually send me a thing that the CDC actually has zombie preparedness on their website now. I'm not shitting you.
I saw that.
Like,
I was going to bring it up. Then I thought, well, let's wait and not get into the rabbit hole. You know.
Yeah. Carrie, Mike's wife, Carrie sent it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to say that, but yeah, Carrie's the one that sent it to me.
I read on it a little bit. It was like they're kind of using it as a way, supposedly, to I don't know, kind of almost as a gag to teach people about other preparedness. Is the gist I got. I didn't read that much of it, but
So John says that his classes are super low this year. Last year couldn't teach enough classes. Even a rep from USCCA said classes have low attendance this year. We've actually not been too low. It's just been weird where the classes have been filling. It's like more of the advanced classes are filling than like the normal entry kind of gateway class that we have that fills up. So it's kind of weird. Yeah, John just says you better train hard because the Taliban now has night vision and drones. Ain't that some shit, dude? Like I said, like I don't think you could set up. And I just want to go back and talk about this for a second. You remember back in the day, like, I don't know, 2 years ago when people thought that we were crazy because we were preppers and shit. And it's like, oh, what are y'all scared of? Da, 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 da. And now it's like, you couldn't set up a movie to be any more fucked up than what our world is at the moment. We got an incompetent president running the country into the ground. We got a freaking like pulling out from Afghanistan, giving them weapons of war that it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like weapons that I don't even want to go there.
Yeah.
And then you have to get this vaccine that may or may not cause blood clots and stuff and adverse reactions that might kill you and turn you into a zombie. So set the stage for the worst fucking movie you could ever film. There you go.
I mean,
they've always said that, that whole deal with China and everything with the support, but ultimately I feel like that withdrawal was basically making a donation to the Taliban. He could have just as easily sent them money for what they did. Why didn't they destroy some of that stuff? Or, if they couldn't bring it back, you're leaving them all that just there to take.
Yeah.
You had the Humvees, everything else, the drones, firearms, and the ammunition. Surely they could have destroyed something.
But this could have been propaganda, but I feel like some of the stuff that they capitalized on was stuff that was, the Afghan army was supposed to be trained in and utilizing to protect themselves. I don't know what's the truer story, whether I'm full of BS or not, but still, yeah, definitely a big ass problem going on there, man. So
And the other thing that makes me even more alarmed, all that shit's bad, right? Like everything we just said is pretty bad. But what's even worse, and this is the thing that's most alarming to me, is that our citizens sit around and act like this is no big thing. They hand over their freedoms on a platter and just say, yes, do whatever you would like, tyranny, sir. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand why are people not fucking outraged? Like, why are people not ready to like go to the streets? I don't understand. Like the way things are moving, this is like I hate to compare it to, because everybody wants to go to the Holocaust, but man, like there's so many similarities. There's so many things that are just like, y'all are just handing freedoms over. Like, please. I don't get it.
And I mean, obviously there's tons of shit going on there, but don't forget about the 200,000 people a month that are crossing the southern border.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. We need to close out, but let's make sure we're not doing air travel. We don't want you crossing from our city to another city. Oh, and you can't go between states. But we have a full-blown invasion of the southern border.
You can't have guns, but the Taliban can now.
Yeah, we'll give them guns, but you can't have a gun. And then like let's just have a full-on invasion, because that's what that fucking is, an invasion of the southern border that nobody's saying anything about. It's just like whatever.
They're coming over across the border, and then we're busing them to different cities throughout the country.
Please take over this area. Go ahead and vote. We just throw some more ballots in the box.
If you follow Monkey Works, Milspec Ops Monkey on YouTube, he's tracking all the planes and stuff. I mean, we got planes coming straight out of Guatemala and stuff like that are just taking them direct. They don't even have to freaking march or take a caravan all that distance. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's unreal. So stay strapped.
And then Scott also said the first things the Taliban did was take all the citizens' guns. That's right.
Yep. Stay strapped or get clapped. So it's kind of where we're.
It's coming to that, unfortunately. I hate to say it, but I feel like that, man, the way this is pushing, it's not looking good at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jody says you can't have a rubber brace, but Taliban can have drones. I actually just saw something from what is that group? Not NRA, but what's the other one? Gun Owners of America. Is that it? No.
Gun Owners of America.
Is that it? Yeah. I just saw something from them where I went in and did the whole thing about how Biden's wanting to make parts are now guns. Like it's not even real guns, it's just parts. He's going to start like, dude, this is getting out of hand. And at some point, like people got to step up. Like we just got to say enough's enough. And the bad thing is like, I feel like we are so fat, lazy, lacking the savagery required to do it anymore. Like
which direction do you head though? Do you go to DC? Do you try to protect the southern border? Like, I don't know.
I don't think it's going to, I'll be honest. I don't think it's going to happen that way. I just don't. I think it's going to be localized. That's what I think. I think if it's going to be local groups saying we've had enough of this shit and putting a stop to it.
That's what I'm saying though. Like, which direction do you go? You know what I mean? Or, and.
Well, I've always been under, I don't know if y'all follow Jordan Peterson, but he says clean your bedroom first, right? Like clean your room. And that's where we got to start. I don't know that we can vote out anymore like we used to. That power, that box is no longer really an option. So it's just not good, guys.
See, like obviously Biden's a weak ass son of a bitch. They didn't need to send 5,000 people back to the sandbox, man. We got freaking our own drones and bombs, and and
it's lost at this point. Just fucking level it. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you had some balls, you'd be dropping bombs. And I'm sorry if I just got us kicked off the freaking YouTubes, but you know what I mean? So you look at his reaction and it's just weak and pathetic, man. And I don't know. My fear is you got other countries just watching this shit and laughing.
Oh, they're definitely
So
you got China, you got North Korea, and let alone we already know we got Chinese troops up in Canada. So it's like, when do they start crossing?
So John Kranz just said the entire leadership of the Taliban is under one building. That's the point, man. It's like, God, how can we not be there taking care of business right now when they're literally not hiding in caves anymore, right? Like now they're out, they're there, they're active. You can see them. Don't we still have fucking drones?
That's
like,
because
don't we still have?
Well, on top of 800 whatever $billion worth of shit they scored, I'm sure they're getting half of those like C-17s that are going over there, just fucking pallets of money, dude. They got to be, you know, just sending all kinds of money over there just to have them play nice, you know, keep the optics good and pull out as many Americans. And like, think about like, you know, some of those folks could be our buddies, you know what I mean, that have taken a security contract. You know, some of those security contractors are left over there for dead, things like that, you know what I mean? So it could be any one of the folks that we might know to decide that they wanted to go do that for a living, you know, and here they are.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a shithole if folks are clinging on to airplanes, desperately trying to get out of there, you know. So
they're willing to die than stay there, or they know they're going to die. And here's the thing: if like there's Christian Afghanis over there, man, that they're dying soon. Like it's going to happen, right? Like they're done. It's just sad that it's come to this point. Now, here's the thing: I wasn't military. I don't know all the ins and outs like some of these guys do, and I don't claim to be. You know what I mean? Like, but man, like there can't be anything strategically good about what we've just done. It just can't. Like, I can't find one good thing that comes out of this. Do I want our guys fighting in a war over there? Absolutely not. But I also understand the necessity of it too. Like all those guys that put in all that work for what, 20 years now?
Yep.
It just went down the drain in 6 months.
Yeah. And, you know,
and here's the thing. I don't want to take away from their fight and like their sacrifice. We are so appreciative of those men in uniform and women in uniform that went over there and sacrificed some of the most high price, right? So I don't want you to hear that. But what I do want you to think is like, how shitty would it be to be one of those dudes that went over there and did all that fighting? It'd be like Vietnam all over again, right? You did all that fighting and all that stuff and you just said, whatever. Man, I can't believe it.
And you can think what you want about whether we were supposed to be there or still be there and all that stuff, but I'm a firm believer as long as we were still there, shit was over there and not here as much. I mean, obviously you had the potential of a lone wolf attack here in the United States and stuff like that, but as long as you kept them pretty much occupied on their own soil, you know, it's a lot less likely that they were able to organize. And
here's the difference. Then they were hiding in fucking caves. Now they have all our shit and they're heading this way.
Yeah.
like you can't explain out of that one, Biden. How the hell that dude has not been taken out of office forcefully? I don't know. I don't understand. It's beyond my thought. It's beyond my reason. I don't get it. That's just me though. What the hell do I know?
I don't know. But I can tell you, thank you, Patriots, for hanging out with us tonight. We've got a bunch of you guys in the room.
So Jody says one of my friends lost both of his legs there. Master Sergeant Cedric King, Army Ranger. Fuck, man. Like my heart goes out to him tonight. Like the state of what we're in and all the sacrifice those men put in to get there. And here's the other thing. Think about all the Afghanis. And I listen, like, y'all can be hating on the Afghan people, but some of those Afghans were our allies. That's probably the same ones that are clinging to the planes, right? That's our allies that like we worked, we trained with, we fought beside them. Like I know that dudes that are over there fighting alongside those guys don't want to see bad things happen to them. Like they were good men that were fighting for them, probably took bullets for them. You know what I mean? Like not all of them were bad. Some of them really wanted things to work out. And we just basically said, well, we're done. And this is where, what was it somebody was telling me? Was it you that was telling me we want something? Oh, what was the saying? I can't remember now. It's funny as shit, whoever told it to me. It was like the border's under siege, or the border's under siege. They're now forcing you to do things to your own body that you don't want to do. And we just gave up the war in Afghanistan and gave them all kinds of shit to fucking kill us over here. But no more mean tweets.
No more mean tweets. Yeah.
No more mean tweets.
Well, Max wants us to change the subject. He wants to talk about Jody's AIDS again.
Oh, okay. Lighter topic. AIDS.
I guess so.
Yeah, Jody had the AIDS. I don't know what else to say about that. Like, he got the AIDS. I think it was from Jason, but I'm not sure.
Them
Not sure about that. While he was in Camden.
According to Jody, Jason is his catcher. So we're gonna leave it at that.
Yikes. So guys, any other questions for tonight? It is let's see what time. We're about 5 minutes out from closing it down. It's been a good one. Again, like, as shitty as things are, right? I've been reading a lot of Jordan Peterson lately and listening to some of his stuff, and I really love the way that he says, the way that he puts things. And I think that we can all take a lesson from some of the things he says. Everyone feeling, hopeless right now, everyone worrying about the world, whenever what you really need to do is look at what you can impact right now at your place, right? So how can you be an asset to the community? How can you be better for someone else? How can you pick up that burden and carry it? And that's what life's all about, right? Like, picking that thing and getting after it, becoming a savage. Like, quit like being this errand boy that gets kicked down and does whatever the hell people tell him to do. Like, stand the hell up and put on your big boy pants. It's time to, do those things that you said you're going to do. Get prepared. Like, put some food back, get some training. Doesn't even have to be with us. Like, Combat Arts is on here. He's in Florida. If you're down that way, train with him. Train up in Tennessee, Camden, Tennessee. Great instructor. James Yeager up there is awesome. It doesn't get any better. Do the things, man. Do the things. It's time. It's time to do the things. It's time to get your shit in order. It's time to clean your room, as Jordan Peterson says.
And Max said it the right way. He said, worry about what's right in front of you, because you can affect change that way.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Fix what you can get your hands on right now. If you can go out there and do something for your fellow officers, like doing a medical class, do that. If you can lift somebody up, get them to training, get them working out, get them being fit, get them more self-reliant, do that. This is all about community for us. It's all about building those guys up in this area, because I do think it's going to happen local. I do think it's going to be a grassroots movement. I do think it's going to be men and women sticking together saying enough is enough. We ain't doing this shit no more. And it's just going to have to be you guys. It's going to be the Patriots. It's going to be the guys and gals that say we've had enough of this shit and we're not going to put up with it anymore. So until next time, guys, we hope you carry smart, carry safe, and be prepared.
Damn,
it was nice hanging out with you.
Nice
hanging out with you guys.
Like that.
Unless y'all got something else to say.
Dude.
Say it.
Nah, it's all good. I am T-minus 2 days from being done my 40-day sugar fast, by the way.
Nice. How's the weight loss?
What's that? 21 pounds so far.
Cool.
Anyway.
Good job.
Nice.
So tomorrow is my first day. Jaeger has put out enough videos and stuff on one meal a day. Tomorrow's going to be my first stab at an OMAD day. So I ate a little bit heavier tonight, and I'm going to try to push all the way until 5 or 6 o'clock tomorrow. So I almost did it. I was kind of a practice run today. I just got to stay full on water and stuff like that. So I shall report back next week. Oh, by the way, next week, Jerry Gage, I don't know that we've announced this, but we're thinking it's going to be live from the studio next week. So things of that nature. So if you're
That sounds
able
good.
to
I got,
hook up with us,
yeah, I'll save it.
okay,
Live from
well, just
studio would be
yeah.
great.
Yeah, so we got some filming to do. We got some combat art training gear to look at, and some other stuff, and a bunch of business stuff to talk to as far as direction for next year. So, all right, Patrick, one more time, send them away, brother.
Get your ass prepared. Carry smart, carry safe, be prepared.
Thanks,
We'll see
guys.
you next week. Same time, same place.
Yes.